Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, hosting Cruz. And guys, in other news, Turki Alalshikh, who is becoming one of the best boxing promoters in the sport, who has recently aligned himself with the GOAT of UFC promotions, Dana White. They will be working together for the first time on a boxing card. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford on September 13th. But this isn't about that. This is about Turki Alalshikh coming out and saying, after the experience, the horrendous experience he had at the Times Square card, in a card that on paper, if you look at it, you'll be like, wow, this got to be one of the greatest cards ever put together. And on paper, it's just that. It was. But when the bell rung, the action was totally the opposite. All fights were boring. The whole event was a disaster. You know, you already had limited seating, and then the action in the ring didn't help. So Turki Alalshikh experienced that. You know, they were showing the camera was looking at him on a few separate occasions, and Turki Alalshikh during the fights, he didn't look pleased. He didn't look happy. And I was telling myself, me and my dad was like, he didn't look happy. He looked pissed because, remember, Turki Alalshikh is a very rich man. And he is investing in the sport of boxing. He wants to see the best fights. He's got the money. Of course, he's going to pay. He's willing to pay. But you got to show me something. And these fighters lately have not really been showing Turki Alalshikh anything. And not just Turkey, but the fans. You know, the most important part of boxing is the fans. You know, without the fans, fighters won't really be who they are today. You know, that's where the money comes from. You know, the gates, pay-per-views. You know, they make money off of the fans. Not all of it, but a high percentage. So fans are important. At the end of the day, fans are important. Fans are coming in. They're paying hard-earned money to sit down and watch good boxing. And just action. You know, the entertainment of boxing is you hit me, I'm going to hit you back harder. And that's that. I mean, the sweet science is hit and not get hit. But in the Times Square card, that was ridiculous. Devin Haney was like, he would shoot an uppercut, a popping jab, here and there, and then most of the time just move out of the way. Avoid engaging at all costs. And then William Skull turned it up a notch against Canelo Alvarez. I mean, he wanted to, the goal was to outdo Devin Haney, and he sure did. He was worst. So after Turki Alalshikh experienced that in both cards, he said, and I quote, I'm going to read it to you guys here in a second. From this point on, I don't want to see any more Tom and Jerry type boxing matches where one fighter is running around the ring and the other is chasing him. We can no longer support these kind of fights with Riyadh Season in the ring. We want to support fighters who leave it all in the ring and fight with heart and pride. And there you have it. Turki Alalshikh says he wants no more running. And running is not boxing in circles and showing your ring generalship and IQ. Boxing and running is totally different. Boxing is, you know, keeping a distance, boxing, boxing circles around your opponent. But running now is what William Skull did. Pop a jab here and there, move out of the way, move out of the way, move out of the way, while the other fighter is constantly attacking, pulling the pressure, looking for the fight, and the other one is does not want to engage. He wants to take the easy way out. He feels he's winning a fight by tap, 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 move, 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 move. Shoot a jab, double jab, move, 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 move. 1, 2, move, move. No, this is boxing. This is not amateur boxing. This is professional fighting, where a lot of people are paying hard-earned money to come and see you get hit in the face. And you hit them back in the face. Blood, sweat, tears, everything. Turki Alalshikh is a rich man, like I said, and he's paying good money to see good fights, great fights. He does not want to see anyone run around the ring in circles to avoid getting hit. This is boxing. You cannot be scared to get hit. Yes, it's sweet science hit and not get hit, but William Skull and what David Haney did was ridiculous. So Turki Alalshikh did what he did. You know, he's a fan also, not just a promoter. So he wants to see the best fights like us fans. We want to see the best fights. So he laid it down. I don't want to see no more running. I want to see you stand and trade shots. Give the fans what they want to see. Let your hands go. You hit him, he's going to hit you back. Let's see who's more macho, who has more heart, who put in the training camp, who put in the work in the training camp. Money's worth. Arturo Gatti type stuff. You know, no one had to tell Arturo Gatti anything. You know, when Arturo fought, you know, it was always money's worth. He wasn't a great fighter in terms of accomplishments, but he was a great action fighter. That when Gatti fought, you're gonna get action. Win, lose, or draw. And that's the type of fights Turki Alalshikh wants to see. Not only he wants to see, but he wants for the fans. So on this card coming up on July 12th, you got Shakur Stevenson defending the WBC title against William Zepeda. And you got Subriel Matias versus Alberto Puello for Alberto Puello's WBC title. So in those fights, you got two guys who are known to be boxers. They use the ring, they use their feet, and box. And then their opponents are very aggressive fighters who throws a lot of punches in bunches and just pure action. In William Zepeda and Subriel Matias. So here's what's happening. Here. So Turki Alalshikh says he wants no more moving around, no more running around the ring, stand and fight. Well, that means Shakur Stevenson and Alberto Puello are gonna have to stand and fight. I mean, yeah, it's great. I mean, the thing about Shakur and Puello being forced to stand and trade in their fights instead of doing what they do best, which is move and box. Turki Alalshikh basically wants Shakur and Alberto Puello to stand right in the pocket, right in front of their opponents, in Zepeda and Subriel Matias. And that's very dangerous for those guys because they're more effective on their back foot, moving and circling you and boxing, using a jab, getting out of the way, not stand and trade toe to toe. So yeah, that's the thing now coming in here with this news. You know, for Puello, Matias, and Shakur and Zepeda. Turkey wants no more running. So what does that mean for Shakur and Alberto Puello? Fighters that like to use their feet, use the ring, and not really get into toe-to-toe fights. Well, based on Turki Alalshikh's words, he doesn't want to see that. He wants to see both Shakur, basically, and Alberto Puello stand right in the pocket. And fire away. Fire away. Because of the last two events, Turki Alalshikh was disappointed. William Skull, Devin Haney, they both turned in a shit show. Even in the Arnold Barbosa-Teofimo fight, Teofimo, was looking for the action, but Barbosa did not want to engage. Ryan Garcia, he didn't want to fight. You can say he had an injury, but it is what it is. All fights were a disaster. Canelo Alvarez versus William Skull was one of the worst fights I've ever seen in boxing. So that says a lot. This card in New York, July 12th. Hopefully these fighters coming in on that card can give us what we want to see, which is pure action. Now, Subriel and William Zepeda are just that. They're nothing but pure action. It's about their opponents, Puello and Shakur. Guys that are known for using the ring and feet. Will they listen to Turki Alalshikh? I don't know how strict Turki Alalshikh is going to have this. He's definitely, I don't know how strict. Strict to the point that Puello and Shakur has no choice to stand toe-to-toe. Otherwise, they get no pay from Turki Alalshikh, which is crazy. But Turki Alalshikh wants no more games. Man, this is boxing. This is a brutal sport. People pay a lot of money to see fights, and it's time to give them what they want. It's time to give them what they want. Give us what we want, and everyone goes home happy. So yeah, man, let's see where this goes. July 12th is the test for Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Shiraz. Let's see where this goes. Let's see how strict Turki Alalshikh is with this new rule here, that he wants to see no more running. Let those hands go. Stand your ground and trade shots. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Hosting Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.